different tools within Photoshop that you can use to eliminate a background behind an image. In our example, we have a full color image. We also have this same image with just a white background, which is much easier to work from. So in our example, we'll first work from this white background image. Now, first way you can remove the background is to come up to Select Color Range. From here, you can select the actual background color that you want to delete, in our case, white. Now we can move this fuzziness slider left or right to choose how much white or other colors we want to grab. In our case, our white background is different enough than our gray and bat and our gray tants that we can actually separate the white from the foreground image. As you can see, this actually worked pretty well. Now, if this is a full color image, it is really not an option whatsoever. Next, we have the Marquee Tool, which essentially allows you to use a shape to delete whatever's within that shape area. Primarily, you will use the rectangle version. Next, you have the Lasso tool, which works a lot like the Marquee Tool, in which we can essentially create a shape and decide that we want to delete that area within that shape. Now, if you hold on the bottom arrow of the Lasso tool, you'll actually be able to use the magnetic Lasso tool, which actually is able to find the lines of our foreground image and essentially allows us to trace right around it. This is a very handy tool when you're using a full color image or background that you need to remove. Once you've selected it, just like the Lasso and magnetic tool, you can then delete it from there. Next, we have the Magic Wand tool. Now, the Magic Wand essentially allows us to select part of the image, and it is all controlled based on the tolerance. Just like the color range is all based around the amount of fuzziness, the tolerance of the Magic Wand decides how much of the background color is going to be selected. The higher the tolerance, the more color is selected. The lower the tolerance, the less color that is selected. You will need to adjust the tolerance before using the Magic Wand. Next, we have the Eraser tool, which, as you can imagine, does exactly what you would think. Erases whatever we want from the image. Now, you can change the size, the hardness, and the shape of the eraser, as well as the opacity. This allows you to choose exactly how much of the background or foreground you want to delete. So, in our case, we're using the brush effect, and we are deleting it just like that. But if we made it a harder delete, you can see that it actually totally gets the background. And again, we can change the opacity. If we change it to like 50%, it won't delete all of the actual background or foreground, just a saturation portion of it. The Magic Eraser tool is a very handy tool when you have a solid background. All you have to do is essentially select the background, and the tool can choose what is the foreground and background and delete that background for you. Again, a very handy tool that you must set the tolerance to choose how much of the background color is removed. In our case, the white background was very nice and sharp against our color image. Now, let's go back to our full color image and use these same tools and see how they work. First, again, we have the Magic Eraser tool, which again is more for a solid color background. As you can see, the tool does not work as well in this case. The Eraser tool, you must have it 100% to really get the job done. And again, it'll work just like you would think. It will delete pretty much whatever it has, but it's not going to get really that close and that great compared to some of the other tools. The Magic Wand tool in this case is not exactly the greatest tool. You can adjust the tolerance so that again we grab closer to what we need, but in the end, in this example, it actually grabs some of the pants, so the Magic Wand tool really doesn't work completely all that well in this case. One of the best tools that you're really going to find to use though is the magnetic polygon tool, because again it allows to trace around your foreground image. So in this case we can easily trace between the legs and delete right up against it and have a nice smooth line, unlike what we got with the eraser. Again, the Lasso tool will allow us to do the exact same thing, but we have to do it more by hand. It's not exactly magnetic and finding that foreground edge perfectly. We have to pretty much do it by just dragging our mouse around. The Marquee Tool, it wouldn't be bad to grab a certain area, but again, it's not going to delete our background all that great in this situation. And then lastly, we have the Color Range tool, which again, we have so much color going on in the background, it's virtually impossible to select the exact amount of fuzziness to just delete the background color. So in this case, really, if you have a full color image, start with the Polygon tool and the Lasso tool, as they will be your best bet for removing any full color or solid color background images.